How's it going? Hope you're doing as good as I'm doing today. We had fun. I will say this is the first day of the first week of the second block, as confusing as that may sound. So regardless of all the fucking complexities of it, this is the highest volume week at the lowest weight for this month's percentages. So I was sticking around 80% on my snatch and snatch pulls and 75% on my overhead squats. But goddamn, 5 sets of anything will put you fucking through it. I will tell you that now. I will say it's very endearing, the fact that 205 has gotten to be such an easy number to hit. And I remember, God, it's barely been a year since I very ugly PR'd it when I had super shit form and my core was garbage and I didn't really know how to snatch on its own. So it's just cool to look back on. I will say there was way too much yapping today. I basically yapped for at least an hour and a half of the 3 hours I was there. So there were 1 or 2 points in the workout where my core was a bit more tender than it should have been, but we're going to push through regardless. And I think the form was pretty solid. There were a few whiffy movements on the snatches, but in general, I'm happy with how it went. Physically, I'll give it a whopping, I'll just give it a flat 8, real shit. It's just a matter of, I felt good, everything moved nice, but volume is pain, and I want to lift heavy again. But if I lift heavy, I'm going to die, and my core will explode. So I I have to build up the volume over the course of a couple weeks before I can hit some peak week shit again. So, give it another 2.5 weeks, and we will be throwing up some nice rep maxes once again. And again, don't get me wrong, I know 2 weeks is not that long of a time, but just where my fatigue levels are at right now, I'm able to do it this way without feeling like shit. And over time, of course, that will change. There will be times when I have to increase the amount of weeks I do for volume compared to how many times I rep max in a certain program, But anyway, mentally, I'll give it a solid 9. It was a good day. Again, just straight flat. It didn't feel like anything specific. It was just, I didn't really have to think today. It was one of those days where it felt like I didn't do a whole lot of productive stuff, but I just kind of did what I was happy with doing and just enjoying the flow of it. Weights felt great. And I got to hang out with all the homies. And I'm going to the homies' place right now. So I'm just going to have my social battery fully charged and drained tonight so I can just vibe out tomorrow and get some actual work done. And I'm just kind of loving life. Sometimes it's a bit more simple than it may seem. I know I get into a lot of complexities, and don't get me wrong, I'm still going to do that. Just give me a minute to cook it up. But sometimes it's okay to just have days where you're just what'd you do? It's I didn't really do a whole lot, but I was just vibing with myself, going with the flow of what made me happy, and I just didn't have to overthink it today. Everything just went, I was at the gym for 4 hours, talking to people after I finished for at least an hour, and I was just whatever, fuck it. I didn't have anything else to do, and I was just having fun. And that is what it is, in a good way. I don't like it when people say it is what it is when they feel like shit. But when you say it is what it is when you feel good, it can just be a matter of you just felt good today. So fuck it. This is going to be a bit of a crazy topic. But I've been kind of thinking about it for this the past couple days, specifically because I've been seeing a lot of homies that are close to me that I've known for a while go through some shit, and it's really tough seeing people you really care about tell you that they don't really know how to make themselves happy at the moment, even though there's so many things anybody could be doing. And again, I never expect anybody to change their behavior or whatever they feel about themselves in a day. That's just not how psychology works. It takes weeks, if not months, of consistently doing the same thing over and over. But I still want to motivate the homies as much as I possibly can, whether that's physical or mental, But anyway, the main topic, as specific and weird as it may sound, is I kind of want to, I don't take this in a very harsh way, This is not me trying to get super crazy about some life shit, but I like talking a little bit about with these specific types of people that are going through some very hard life struggles over a long period of time, about the idea of trying to get to a point where you would be okay. Not, again, this is so hard to word. I like the idea of people getting to a point, like, I think you are, like, at a peak psychologically when you can confidently say, if I die tomorrow, not that you're okay with that, but that you are happy with the efforts you put in, you know? That you believe that you did everything again, not in the past. The past is for reflecting on, but in that present moment, in your present day right now, wherever your standard is at the moment for whatever you do in life, do you feel that you could die tomorrow and then be like, you know what? I did everything the way I felt like doing. So, you know, it's basically the idea of living with no regrets. I don't mean to laugh about it, but it's so complex of a thing to say socially, but when you kind of take it internally and go through the process of healing and all that stuff, I feel like it's so much more simple than it really needs to be. Like, I feel there's so many people online that'll be like, you got to treat tomorrow like you're going to die tomorrow. So you got to put into 100% right now. And it's like, I don't like that kind of narrative, you know? I don't want people to constantly be like, oh man, if I don't do this and this and this, I'm going to regret everything. It's like, no, you got to understand that your standard for your happiness, your standard for your productivity, your standard for even your obligations in life, whatever responsibilities you have, they change every day. You know, you always want to try to meet those minimums just to, like, make sure you hit the bar, but then you want to try to, whatever energy you have left, it's up to you to choose on what you want to put that extra energy into to go past the threshold. You know, like, normally, for me at least, with obligational responsibility stuff, like my biological needs, food, water, shelter, I normally try to just kind of hit the minimums on those, because it's not like a big deal to me if I don't have fancy food or I'm not making enough money to eat out as much as I want to. Like, that's fine. But because I'd rather put that time into my passions like weightlifting. And I love doing these videos, so I end up doing a lot more editing than I give myself credit for sometimes, because as unedited as these videos are, they take a fucking while. I give mad props to anybody who does super edited videos on their own, because it just takes fucking hours. And even just me adding my little text and cutting the clips together, it takes so goddamn long. Anyway, I'm not trying to rant off into a different fucking conversation. The whole point of this topic, I guess, is just, it's super important to allow yourself the possibility of being confident that every step that you make is your own, you know? Because so many times people, honestly, most times, people will just do what they feel is socially correct or what they were taught to them growing up, and that's just what they gotta do, and you gotta stick to it because that's what everybody else said to do. And it's like, maybe for the obligational stuff to a point, but you gotta be able to see it as, it's not so much taking a risk when you want to just drop off one thing and go to the next thing for your own health and happiness. It's just what's necessary for you to go to the next step. Like, so many times I'll see some good friends of mine say stuff like, oh, I don't think I can quit this thing because I've just been doing it for so long, and I don't want to be unstable or anything. And I'm like, okay, well, everything you've explained about whatever job or whatever thing you're doing every day that you hate is just making your life worse. So, you know, if you need the money to make sure you eat enough food this week or whatever, then yeah, like, put in enough hours to eat and all that. But, like, you can start looking for a new job tonight, even if you feel like it's not so much worth it material-wise. You need to make sure you hold your own psychology up at the highest. You know, that's your own mental it's what's meant to be the first priority. Your mental health, physical health, and then everything else after that can just be your fucking passions in life, you know? But I think it's just so much more simple. Is like, you don't have to think about like, oh, would I have any regrets if I died tomorrow? It's just being able to live in the moment and say, like, you know what? Even though sometimes I fuck up, even though sometimes I don't do as well as I want to, even though sometimes I say things that I may not have meant to have said in the moment just because I got emotional, you know that you're just doing everything to the best of your own abilities, putting in as much maximum effort as you can per day. Because again, you can't put in the same amount of energy every day. That's why I do the ratings, just to show you guys how much it fluctuates sometimes. And sometimes it's very stagnant. Sometimes it's very fucking awesome. And again, if you've been here for long enough, I've had really awful fucking days. There was one day where I almost went below a 5. And I've said that for me, if I drop below a 5, then I've had a majority negative day that has made my life worse. And so it makes me very proud to at least know that I've hit my bare minimum of like a 5 to make sure that I'm happy and doing the things that I love doing in life every day. But it doesn't mean I'm invulnerable to those things. It's about, it's such a mindset, you know? I know it can seem cliche to just say like, oh, life's a mindset, but it really is. You know, I like these certain people that I'm worried about, that I want to see progress and do better in their own individual life. They'll get to a point where they're just like, oh, well, you know, I've done everything and this job just sucks, but I need the money. And I'm like, realistically, this is not me trying to fucking thrash on anybody. It's no shame or anything, but you cannot tell me that you've done everything, because nobody has done everything in any area of any category. It's just not fucking possible. There's always more, especially the younger you are. There's always something more that you can be doing, whether you make it up yourself or it's something factual that everybody knows that you got to do. There is an unlimited amount of things that you could do to make your situation better. People don't realize that you just need to put yourself in a situation where you have the most possible chance, like the highest possible chance to interact in a positive way with your environment and enjoy your day better, so that at some point that consistency builds into like a lifestyle. You know, that's where my mentality comes from. I go to the gym every day. I do these videos every day. I make sure to, like, I talk while I'm on the way home in the car, specifically because it's when I'm at my most passionate, or I've gotten to put in my passion project for the day, I guess. You know, like the gym is what I love most in my individual life right now. Not like when it comes to like my people or anything, just the material thing that I do on my own. Weightlifting is my thing that I love to death. You know, I want it to be my life passion for as long as I can run it, because it's what brings out the best in me. I've told people so many times, like, I don't just lift to do Olympic lifting. Like, if I injure myself tomorrow, look, for example, this is a better example than saying die tomorrow. Let's say I injure myself tomorrow, and I break my elbow and I can't do Olympic lifting ever again. That's fine. It's fine. You know, it sucks. I would never want to go through that. I would never wish this upon anyone, but it's fine. I'm alive. Who the fuck cares at the end of it? So it's either I'm going to sit there and grovel and cry about my fucking elbow, or when the moment my elbow heals, I can either try again and see if I can. But realistically, if I could never do it ever again, I guarantee you I'm in there next week bodybuilding. I'm not a bodybuilder at the moment, at least, but I don't do Olympic lifting just for the sake of Olympic lifting. I do it for the passion it derives inside of me. You know, it's what keeps me continuously wanting to make those next first steps and really committing to my life. And again, it's not so much that, like, because I do weightlifting, I'm better material-wise in other ways of life, like jobs and stuff. It's the fact that I've developed this mindset through something that I built on my own as my own individual passion, with no expectations, no social requirements or anything, no material goods, like, blocking my way. It's just something that I just wanted to do for me and just to have fun and enjoy life a little bit more. And this mindset of discipline, consistency, and passion that I've built up along the way has made it to where when I go to things that suck more or could suck more, like work, that's normally seen as just a full obligation, I can turn work into a positive experience if I choose to. You know, I say this all the time, but choosing to be happy is a genuine choice. You know, you either choose to be negative or you choose to be positive. And again, if you're in a really shitty situation, I get it. I can totally sympathize and I can relate as much as I want, or as much as you may need me to. But it's a matter of, at the end of the day, in the long term, whatever you go through, it's up to you to get through and have a positive mindset about it. So, like, for example, like, I don't mean to sound naive, but I've experienced so much good passion, and like my relationship with my current girlfriend, we've been dating for 4.5, almost, like, we're going to be on 5 years in August. And I just being able to put that sort of passion and love into someone as well, just like an actual person rather than a material thing, it gives you so much perspective on life and what's truly important, you know? And so, like, I tell people all the time, as naive or ignorant as it may sound, I genuinely believe that if I lost everything tomorrow when it comes to the material shit, and I had to move under a bridge and live in a box and be homeless, I will make it fucking work. Not to say material-wise or financially, I will make it work. I am going to be happy no matter what. That is my goal in life, to be every single day. I want to be happy no matter fucking what. And that's what I wish I'd see more in people. You know, everybody's so stuck on like, I got to hit this goal, and I got to hit this quota, and I got to make this amount of money, and they're not prioritizing, I got to be this happy. You know, everybody always forgets, I got to be this happy today to make sure that my whole life is as happy as it can possibly be. So I guess it's not so much as, would you regret anything in your life if you died tomorrow? I think it's more, if you died tomorrow, could you tell people confidently that you lived a happy life? You know, it's good to put that in perspective, because as vague or as broad of a statement as that may seem, or like a lot of people will be like, oh, well, there's too many responsibilities and I can't be thinking about that. That's a choice. You know, you can choose to live that way, and sure, you can be happy that way. There's always people that can. I know very materialistic, technically narcissistic, but I don't give a shit about that. People that live that way and are genuinely happy, because that's just how their brain's routed. But most people are more social or psychologically driven to live happier, better lives. So just make sure you give yourself the credit and the opportunity to grow in that way, and actually tell people, hey, like, I live a happy fucking life. It may sound cringy or it may sound over the top, but you should be proud to shove that in people's faces and be like, if you know, obviously not like making it people's issues or like trying to make people uncomfortable or anything, but like if I'm in the gym and someone's like, oh, how you been going lately? Like, how's the lifts been going? I'm not going to just be like, oh, it's been all right. You know, it's going. I'm going to be like, oh, dude, on the last fucking part of my program, I peaked. I maxed out all my lifts. I hit everything. I did fucking awesome. I hit 235 for 3 on snatch and 285 for 3 on clean and jerk and all these other weights. And I'm not just going to tell them like, oh, it's all right. I'm going to fucking show that shit off. That's why we do it, you know? Obviously, I'm going to do it partly for myself, but everybody has their own individualistic and collectivistic mindsets that they have to meet, you know? You do enough for yourself just as much as you do enough for the attention that you get from other people, the love and support you get from other people. That's what I care the most about, is what I'm kind of getting to. But I digress. I feel like I'm going off too much. Take that shit with a grain of salt. Seriously, it's just how I view my own life, I guess. And everybody's got their own situation. I can't assume anybody can just feel the way I'm feeling. But I genuinely think that everyone is capable of feeling this way. But it's up to you to kind of find the way to do that. The ambiguity of life, the mystery of life is a very hard thing to get through. But once you kind of start rolling with it and trying to love every present day that you have and do the best that you got, even if it doesn't mean hitting every single quota at the same exact efficiency rate, then, you know, life will get a lot easier. It'll feel a lot less overwhelming and will get a lot smoother, you know? You can just take it one step at a time, don't overthink it too much, and just love yourself. Give yourself the fucking credit you need, and surround yourself with people that'll do the same. So anyway, long-ass video today, but I love this topic in a positive way. You know, I don't want people to think negatively about the things I bring up in these videos, but you know, it's good to see different perspectives, I think. So again, it's just my point of view, so don't take it too seriously if you don't feel like it. But I'll be back tomorrow. I got clean and jerk and back squat, 5 doubles on clean and jerk and 5 sets of 4 on back squat. So it's gonna be a day. But god damn it, it's hard for a reason, and I'll love it no matter what. Because that's I choose to carry that mindset. That's my whole fucking point. So I appreciate whoever's stuck around to hang out and listen. Let me know how your lifts and lifes have been going, because I love hearing about it, and you'll see me tomorrow. Appreciate you hanging out. See you.